Okay, Joseph, sir, you can start.
Good evening, Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I would like to ask you how you are getting on in this chill weather of Bangalore, which is 15 degrees like a hill station. I don't know about the other areas. Hope you are all doing very well. Today I am the Sergeant at Arms for this meeting. My name is Joseph Felix Benedict. Toastmasters provide supportive and positive learning experience to which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, greater self-confidence and self-growth. In every Toastmasters meeting, we have few guidelines to follow. The first one will be to please mute your mic and other digital devices. And if you are a speaker, please remember to unmute yourself when you speak. I also like to request all speakers to refrain from speaking sex, religion, and politics to avoid sentiment of our audiences. I also request to turn on your videos so as to encourage our speakers. I also request all the guests are to mention their name and club name in the chat window. Now I would like to introduce our today's president. Mr. President Mayur is our wonderful president leading our Speech Weavers Club in a very magnificent way. He is a manager for a corporate company and he is doing very well on this one. He also has some hobbies of cycling and other exercises. He's a great personality having a vast knowledge on most of the subjects, and our club in his hands is growing very, very well. I want you to applaud everyone to invite Toastmaster Mayur, the president of our club. Toastmaster Mayur, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Joseph, sir, for inviting me. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and esteemed guests. I open meeting number 639. I hope everyone is doing great. So I am going to talk about the meaning, esoteric meaning of waiting today. In a sense, the state of presence could be compared to waiting. Jesus used the analogy of waiting in some of his parables. This is not the usual bored or restless kind of waiting. That is the denial of present. It is not a waiting in which your attention is focused on some point in the future and the present is perceived as an undesirable obstacle that prevents you from having what you want. There is a quantitatively different kind of waiting, one that requires your total alertness. Something could happen at any moment, and if you are not absolutely awake, absolutely still, you will miss it. This is kind of waiting Jesus talks about. In that state, all your attention is in the now. So there is none left in your daydreaming, thinking, remembering, anticipating. There is no tension in it, no fear, just alert presence. You are present with your whole being, with every cell of your body. In that state, the you that has the past and the future, the personality, if you like, is hardly there anymore. And yet nothing of value is lost. You are still essentially yourself. In fact, you are more fully yourself than you ever were before. Or rather, it is only now that you are truly yourself. Be like a servant waiting for the return of the master, says Jesus. The servant does not know at what hour the master is going to come, so he stay awake, alert, poised. Still, he misses the master's arrival. In another parable, Jesus speaks of the five careless break in or unconsciousness women who do not have enough oil bracket in consciousness to keep their lamps burning or stay present and miss the bridegroom, the now, and don't go to the wedding feast, the enlightenment. So these five things stand in the contrast to the five wise women who have enough oil, like stay conscious. Even the man who wrote the gospel did not understand the meaning of this parable. So the first misinterpretation and distortion crept in as they were written down. With subsequent erroneous interpretations, the real meaning was completely lost. These are parable not about the end of the world, but about the end of physiological time. They point to the transcendence of the egoic mind and the possibility of living in an entirely new state of consciousness. So, this is what the esoteric meaning of waiting is. Now, I would like to thank our guest who has joined us from various parts of the world. First, I would like to thank our evaluator to Sharon Fu, who has joined us from Malaysia, Toastmaster Pankaja, who just grabbed one space slot. Thank you for joining us. And I would like to thank our guest who has joined from various parts of the world, Rohan and Nasir as well. So now I would like to invite our Toastmaster of the day, who is going to talk about the theme for today. Are you ever bored? So when I heard of the theme, so what did you guys think about first? You feel blank or something? Like even I thought the same. So I usually feel bored at the midweek, like Wednesdays or Thursday, and now is the Friday coming, so I will feel a little relief that I will be taking some break after the hectic work. So let's learn more about the theme from the man himself, Toastmaster Bidhu. He is joining us from Delhi. He is a sport management professional looking at the corporate affair in Baichung Bhutia Football School. He is a cinephile, marathon runner, and often enjoy trips with friends. Let's welcome Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Bidhu. Over to you, Bidhu.
Thank you, President, for this kind introduction. Are you bored? This is a question we were often asked while growing up, and sometimes at this age too. Also, we sometimes go into a shell if we ever feel bored. We question ourselves. Am I living a life in complacency? Am I not striving hard enough? Or the newest symptom, FOMO, fear of missing out. But over the years, I have come to feel the benefits of feeling bored. As already briefly told by our president while introducing, some of my long pursued hobbies include a fascination towards movies, regular running, and a keen interest in reading. And guess what? All these hobbies took shape when I was bored. I remember as a kid, I used to visit my relatives, and when elders got busy in their conversation, I was left alone with possibly the most ubiquitous gadget during that time. I'm talking about late 90s and early 2000s, the television. During those times, I vividly remember I watched movies like Jurassic Park, Rambo, and even our own Bollywood movies, which featured Hrithik Roshan and Shah. During my high school, before graduation, I decided to take a year gap to prepare for exams, and hence I was left behind while my friends college. I used to visit playgrounds but did not have friends to play with, and that is when I started The sole reason was because I got inspired by the people who used to come for morning walks. I also developed a keen interest to read when I was in the middle of a job switch and I was able to convert an interview for a pretty long time. Interestingly, my first brush with Toastmasters also happened on a day when I was just lazing around. 2018, and there was a 5-star ad campaign on its peak. It was called 5-star and do nothing. Taking all the inspiration from the ad, I was doing nothing. Got a mobile notification that a free event is happening in WeWork, and being attended a Speech Weavers meeting as a guest. And now, after 3 years, I am grateful to be still associated with Speech Weavers Club. With this wonderful memory, I would like to focus on today's meeting. I start by thanking the guests who have joined us on this wonderful Friday evening. For the benefit of the guests, to tell Toastmasters is an international organization founded in 1924. It's a 100-year organization and it is spread over 145 countries. We belong to District 92. Speech Weavers has a majority from Bangalore, but the pandemic has helped us cross geographical boundaries, and now our club has people joining from across India and the world. I myself joined from Delhi. Every Toastmasters meeting has 3 sections. One is a prepared speech section where every member comes up with prepared speeches. The second is a table topic session where we try and exercise impromptu speeches. And finally, we have general evaluation where every role taker is evaluated by a round of evaluators. Moving on, I would like to introduce one vital person of today's meeting, the General Evaluator. Our General Evaluator for today works as a consultant at C Profit Wealth Management Private Limited and is a director of fintech company called Deep Pocket Technologies. His Toastmasters journey is always an improvement curve since he joined in March, and he constantly seeks to evolve in terms of public speaking and leadership. He is one of those speakers who often marvels at taking evaluation roles like grammarian and accountant, but today he has taken the responsibility to evaluate every single role taker. When probed if he ever gets bored, he replied in affirmative and suggested multiple ways he spends time when he is bored. He looks up for new ideas for his startup, he reads, he pranks, and writes funny things on social media. And sometimes he blogs about football too. No wonder he has a startup and owns the stage whenever he is called upon as a joke master in our clubs. Requesting General Evaluator, Toastmasters others to inform us about the evaluation and the evaluators. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction, Toastmaster Bidhu. It's absolutely brilliant to be here. But as the General Evaluator for today, by the way, my name is Adarsh, if you didn't catch that. I'll be playing the role of a General Evaluator. So that means I'll be evaluating all the table topic speakers, and every role taker within today's meeting. So before we proceed, I would like to introduce you to a set of people that are going to be helping me, because there's no way I can evaluate every speech and table topic. I just cannot do it myself, can I? So I have a team with me that will be evaluating all the speeches along with me, and they'll take different forms, starting off with the timer for today. So our timer for today will be Toastmaster Nasir. Toastmaster Nasir, would you mind proceeding to explain your role? Okay, I think Toastmaster Nasir seems to have some kind of issue, but I'll get back to him. Would anyone like to take up the timer role by any chance, in case if Nasir cannot do it?
Yeah, I can take the timer role, Adarsh.
All right, sure, Elango. So would you mind explaining the timer role?
Thank you, General Evaluator. As a timer, I'll be keeping time on the prepared speeches. We have speaker 1 today, and we have also the evaluator. And we also have speaker 2 also. For the prepared speeches, it will be 5 to 7 minutes. And at the end of 7 minutes, we'll have the green card shown. Let me share the background. So at the end of 5 minutes, we'll be having a green card.
Elango, I'm not sure if you're able to see the screen. There is something, your screen is
And
down.
at the end of
Perfect.
6 minutes, the yellow card will be visible. Is the background visible now?
Yes, very much.
Is it visible? Sorry, okay. Just a minute.
We can see it.
Okay, part of the screen is dark, so I'm not sure if you're actually covering the webcam with your finger or anything.
Yeah, there is some
Yes,
connectivity
it's
issues.
off.
Yeah, there is some connectivity issues. And
All right, it is fine now. You can proceed.
so at the end of 7 minutes, I'll be showing the red card. We'll be able to see the same. And this is about it. And while calling upon General Evaluator, I'll sign the time report. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Toastmaster Elango, for that report. And if you didn't quite catch that, so he meant to say that there are 3 different cards, of which one of them is a green card, and the second one is a yellow card, and finally you have the red card. So you'll be displaying the cards one by one, and it'll suggest different things. So the red card will suggest that you're supposed to stop. But I'm pretty confident that Toastmaster Elango is very much aware of that, but he has a few technical difficulties. But thank you very much for taking the role on the fly. We look forward to your report towards the end of the session. As for our next vote taker, we have the youngest of all Toastmasters at our club. He is none other than our very own Toastmaster Joseph, who will be playing the role of an R counter. Toastmaster Joseph, would you mind proceeding to explain your role? Sir, you're supposed to, you have to unmute yourself.
Once again, good evening to all my fellow Toastmasters and my distinguished guests. Today I'm playing the R counter role as a number of unnecessary sounds or repetitive words you may use when you are speaking on stage. I'll be observing and taking note of words such as ha, hum, like. Having said that, but all these these words are not to be used. Right word intentionally when your mind is searching for the next appropriate word. Similarly, long pauses which may adversely impact the speech value. There are filler words that affect the effectiveness of the speech. I will present my report when called upon by the General Evaluator. Back to you, General Evaluator of the day.
Thank you very much for that good representation of what the R counter stands for exactly. We are very much looking forward to your report towards the end of the session. As for our next vote taker, we have ourselves our grammarian, Toastmaster Nitin. Toastmaster Nitin, would you mind explaining your role?
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Toastmaster Nitin. First of all, I am the grammarian, and the word of the day will be silver tongue, which means that where you are making others believe in yourself, which means that you are making yourself eloquent and persuasive. A word can be used in this way. He has a silver-tongued way of making the disagreeable palatable. Again, I repeat, he has a silver-tongued way of making the disagreeable palatable, where he makes the disagreeable makes believe himself. And I'll be recording all the good words that you are using in your speech, and I'll also be recording all the mistakes that are concerned with the grammar. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Nitin. And I'm pretty confident that all of us would want to have a silver tongue by the end of the session today. As for our final role, I'm pretty confident that this is one role that most people forget, but it's not a role that I'm going to forget. It is the timer role. So for our timer role, we have ourselves a presiding officer, Toastmaster Mayur. Toastmaster Mayur, would you mind explaining your role as the listener?
Thank you, Toastmaster Adarsh, for inviting me again. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guest. As a listener, if you want to become a good leader, listening is very important thing. It plays a very good, very important role in if you want to improvise your leadership skills. If you are not a good listener, if you want to become a good manager or entrepreneur or any leader, so you have to listen to your subordinate very well. And for the as per my role, I will be noting down all the good points from throughout the meeting, and at the end of the day, I will I will ask you some questions whether you are being attentive or not. So please be ready at the end. I will ask you some question, and when General Evaluator will call me again. Over to you, G.
Now that's quite a challenge, if I'm not wrong. I'm prepared for the session where I'm going to be tested for my listening skills. But regardless, we have to move to our next segment. For that, I'll be handing it back to our Toastmaster of the day. But before that, I'd like to remind you that I'll be presenting my report of all the note takers and listeners at the end of the session. But for now, I'd like to hand it back to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Bidhu.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So let's move on to the first segment of today's meeting, the prepared speech segment. Do we have some silver tongue speakers today? Well, we will certainly know in a few moments. Our first speaker today is trying Pathway Effective Coaching, Level 3, P2. To evaluate the speech, we have evaluator Toastmasters Naveen Giri. May I request Toastmasters Naveen Giri to read out the project guidelines?
Hey, yeah. The purpose of this project is for the member to tell a story. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. Our speaker today is passionate digital strategist and a career coach. He has around 2 decades of corporate IT experience in digital transformation. He is also a club coach of a personal growth startup named Unlimited Potential Inside. He is a Toastmaster since 8 years, having finished his CC, CL, and ACL. He also has a stellar track record of having played the role of a club mentor, president, VP membership, and VP education. So without further ado, I would like to invite Toastmasters Vinith. Saptavada Gyanam, Toastmasters Vinith. Over to you.
Has it ever happened to you? You gave an excellent presentation and still the desired deal didn't happen. The sale didn't get converted. Raise your hand if that has happened to you. Toastmasters of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guest. A guy from a North India, Bihar, goes to Tamil Nadu. He went to a roadside restaurant and said, I am hungry. What do you have that will satiate my hunger? The restaurant fellow said, I have masala vada and it will satiate your hunger. And I'm sure you know vada. It's a famous South Indian dish, like a fried cutlet for the lack of words. So the guy asked, what is the cost of masala vada that will satiate my hunger? The restaurant guy replies, 5 rupees. The Bihari guy ordered the same. The guy had the first vada. He really liked the taste, but he was still hungry. He then had the second vada, ate it, but still hungry. Then he goes for the third vada. But again, he still doesn't, his hunger is still not satiated. Then he goes for fourth vada, fifth vada, even sixth vada, and he's still hungry. And finally, only when he has his seventh vada, his hunger is satiated. Now, after finishing all 7 vadas, guy goes towards the billing counter. The waiter from inside screams, 35 rupees for 7 vadas. And this guy took a 5 rupee coin and kept it on the table. The cashier said, hey man, you had 7 vadas. You have to pay for 7 vadas. How you're paying just 5 rupees? And this guy says, but my communication was clear from the beginning. I had clearly asked you, what is the cost of vada which will satiate my hunger? And do you recall? You said 5 rupees. And 7th vada alone satiated my hunger. 6th, the first 6, it didn't help me satiate my hunger. So why will I pay for those 6 vada? I'll only pay for this 7th vada which satiated my hunger. Now just think about the cashier who was at the counter. What he might be thinking. And while you're thinking, let me tell you one crucial piece of knowledge that emerges from this 7 or Saptavada story, which is called Saptavada Jnanam, knowledge of 7 fried cutlet-like dish. So Saptavada Jnanam is that if 6 vada alone had gone in, it will not make any difference. Hence the 7th vada is so essential. But on the other hand, you cannot have the 7th unless 6 happens. Only when the 7th vada follows 6 vadas, hunger can be satiated. My dear friends, I was trying to draw parallels of this story to my Toastmasters journey. I thought 90% of my communication was preparation before the speech. And only 10% was at the stage. And even during the speech, as a silver tongue speaker, 90% of all my communication is only preparing the other's mind. 10% of communication is only communication. So what I realized every time I communicate to an unprepared mind, or if I am unprepared as a communicator, it completely kills the communication. So either I am not ready, or the communication receiver is not yet prepared to receive the communication. So as I started, sometimes when you think that you have made an excellent presentation and still the sale did not happen or could not get converted, chances are you delivered the 7th vada, but somehow did not deliver the previous 6 vadas. All failures in communications are the failure to prepare. That's what I learned from this story. Preparing ourselves and preparing others' individual mind before I even start communicating. So the moral of the story for me from the Saptavada Jnanam is that 90% of communication is preparation, which is the first 6 vadas. Then the actual communication happens, which is just 10%, which is the 7th vada. Question to you, Toastmasters and dear guest. How would you apply the learning of Saptavada Jnanam in your next presentation? Over to you, Toastmasters of the day.
Thank you, Toastmasters Vinith. As much as I was mesmerized by this particular metaphor, having a food item on a Friday evening is always enticing for my taste glands. Moving on to our second speaker for today. Our second speaker for today is joining from a neighboring state. She is from Secunderabad Toastmasters Club, Hyderabad. She is attempting level 3 P2 from Pathway Innovation Planning. And to evaluate his speech, we have evaluator Toastmasters Sharon. May I request Toastmaster Sharon to read out the objectives. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Okay, to Speaker Archana, here is your purpose statement. The purpose of this project is to begin developing a collection of humorous stories and to present a speech that includes humor. Good luck, and back to you.
Thank you. When I probed our speaker about her life, if paused by boredom, she swiftly replied, she has absolutely no time to get bored because she is into music, dance, quick nap, or she uses millennial and Gen Z's biggest weapon, that is memes. With a round of applause, please welcome Toastmasters and Dr. Archana, crafty crazy critics, Toastmasters, Dr. Archana.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Bindu Das. Humans, when they wake up, they generally say good morning. But critics who enjoy name calling, they indirectly say, how do you want me to torture you today? How innovatively shall I find your faults? Friends, please raise your hands if any of you faced at least one such person in your life. I know, like mosquitoes, critics are everywhere. In 1987, my mother, who was a PhD aspirant, went to a movie by saving 6 rupees of her pocket money. 6 rupees. Just for spending those 6 rupees, my grandpa called her a huge white elephant that is expensive to maintain at home and made her get married. Now, even my dad calls her white elephant. Fathers at least need a reason to criticize. Husbands don't even need that. If wife sits, he says, my wife enjoys life by sitting. And if wife stands, he says, see, my wife enjoys life by standing. He won't even let her sleep. Critics everywhere. Good morning, Toastmasters and honored guests. Welcome to the world of my crafty, crazy critics. In Toastmasters, we get constructive, logicful, graceful feedback with clear recommendations that help us improve. But outside, people just criticize. They give labels, and Pal's friends say, it's okay, take it easy. All this will help you improve. What? Critics name calling will help improve? When some critics labels you donkey, rat, or corona, can you please explain me how it will help you improve in life? This kind of criticism can only destroy any human or woman unless she is Talaivi Jailalita, isn't it? Let me use my silver tongue to share with you 3 instances of my life where I faced criticism. 1. Recently, in our class of approx 200 students, our faculty called my name and said, Archana, please see that all the 100 sitting at the back won't make a noise. So I got up and started saying, slow, please discuss slowly. And with my silver tongue, I said that. One woman pulled my hand and said, Archana, you should say, speak softly, not slowly, with her iron tongue. And the guy beside her said, say, speak slowly. You should use the word speak before the word slowly, with his innovative, intelligent, advising tongue. And the third guy beside him said, Archana madam, you are too short. Stand on that chair to be visible for them and then say discuss softly. And the girl beside him said, look at her. She is behaving like Nityananda Baba, moving hands like this, slow, saying. They all were looking at me just like a giant tomcat that looks at a Jerry mouse. That second instant. Students among you must know how studious one must be to achieve the dream of clearing the UPSC exam. They need to study 24/7, 365 days sitting in one room, isn't it? One day, when I was searching for some book some years ago, I happened to go near my dad's room and heard him saying to someone in a call, my daughter Archana, she is like a rat. She comes out of her room only for food when no human being is around. So I can't make her speak with you. And he disconnected the call. I asked him, Daddy, who is on call? And he replied, that's none of your business. Go back to your room, introverted rat. Rat? At least you should have called me elephant, some animal which is huge and strong, giant animal. Rat? Am I looking like a rat? Third instant. Once there happened an argument in our apartment's WhatsApp, and people who couldn't defeat me with their logical abilities, do you know what they did? They posted diamond rat killer gel poison tube photo and said, this is the only thing that can kill the rat in our apartments. Indirect insult. If I had a chance, I would have used that same rat poison, mixing it in our overhead tank water to murder them all and to allow only real rats to be alive all over our apartments. Generally, people do personal attacks when they realize they cannot win over you by speaking only on the point. This technique is called hominem ad argumentum, which says if you cannot attack the argument, attack the arguer. I understood this, so I didn't continue arguing anymore because I knew that arguing with them further is like trying to kill the mosquito on my cheek. I may miss it, I may or may not kill it, but I will definitely slap myself for sure. Not just name calling, I stopped reacting to all kinds of critics in my life. Do you know why? Because I learned to view human beings' opinions like a restaurant menu card. We take only what we want from the 6 pages of menu card, ignoring all the other items such as like a soup of holy shit, which may also present in it, that bat soup which caused all the corona and all. See, anything, we can ignore it. So when you face opinions of critics, labels they give you, do not forget that all great men like Socrates, Galileo, Archana also were also mistaken as fools, idiots, just as you. Forget the opinions of people, society around you, the way you forget trigonometry and quantum mechanics of BCom physics of all your subjects. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Wow, what a wonderful speech. From taking references from Nityanand, Jayalalitha to metaphors of animals like rats, elephants, and there was a word which I cannot remember, hominium, probably later on the listener would ask us the same word. So with this, we move on to the third speaker. Our third speaker today is attempting Pathways Engaging Humor, level 2 from the project Connecting with Audience. To evaluate her speech, we have Toastmasters Mayur. May I request Toastmasters Mayur to read out our third speaker's evaluation guidelines.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Bidhu. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skill needed to connect with unfamiliar audience. Over to you, TMoD.
Well, our third speaker is very meticulous, and when she is bored, she quickly goes to her to-do list. So without boring anyone or the third speaker, I'd like to welcome Toastmasters Pankaja, the Leaning IT Tower. The Leaning IT Tower, Toastmasters Pankaja.
Before I begin, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Pankaja, you did a Master of Philosophy and then a PhD from UK in urban planning. And then you joined this IT company. PhD, permanent head damage. What are you doing in this IT company? This Leaning IT Tower is my colleague, a software engineer, and her name is Kamishka, but she said to me, just call me Cami. Toastmaster Bidhu, isn't Cami cute? Yes. And she was right that my role as a technical writer in this IT company had nothing to do with my PhD. I did the PhD to make mom proud. She never went to high school and said to me, Pankaja, always study. What? And not sleep at all? During my PhD, I worked 24/7 and my supervisor, Professor Nick Divas, approved my very 7th draft. 7th. My drafts were so bad, full of Nick's comments. Professor Nick Divas is 6 feet 2 caring. When I repeated the rubbish, Nick wrote, not again. 3.5 years later, they handed me my PhD degree. You might have seen people who are confused about their future. Not me. I saw my future as clear as unbreakable glass. I returned to India. The professors handed me a professorship and I researched and solved India's urban planning problems. I returned to India. The professors handed me flowers for addressing their students. Thank you, but not professorship. There were no job vacancies. My future, as clear as unbreakable glass, was shattered. Like Harry Potter's window in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I was jobless for 12 months. Yes, Dad. Pankaja, you love writing. Become a writer. And write movie scripts. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Shattered Future. No. Technical writer, write user manuals. User manuals? Does anyone read them? No one reads them, but every company needs them. I had a Master of Philosophy, a PhD, and then destiny pushed me to study technical writing. And then I joined an amazing IT company with glass walls. It was such fun looking through the glass walls and watching my manager's manager shout at my manager. And I felt like a princess in this glass palace. For after all, I was the only one who was a PhD and an intern. It was like driving a Ferrari to deliver pizzas. But I was happy until someone asked me the Cami question. What are you doing in this IT company? And there was something else they said. You technical writers just do cut and paste and publish user manuals that people see and Toastmaster Adarsh, isn't Cami kind? No? But he was right about user manuals. Maybe even you just look at them. User manual. I write them. And these camis, cut and paste. I'm going to show these camis. I worked hard. And luckily, the product manager at Mountain View, California liked my work. She invited me to fly from India to California to discuss more work. So while I looked at the sunny mountain view from my plane view, the camis back home looked at the traffic jam from their window view. They called me, Pankaja, can we write user manuals with you in Mountain View? No, I didn't say that. I told Dad, and now they want to write user manuals with me. He said, Pankaja, if you could go back, would you still opt for academics? No, I realized I was happy in this IT company. Yes, these camis are tough, but I'm sure it is far easier to handle camis than India's urban planning problems. And then Dad said something that changed everything. He said, whatever you do, do it for you. You mean be selfish? No. Since I am smart, I realized what Dad really meant 7 years later. Smart, born smart. What Dad really meant was, don't go about trying to impress these camis, do it for you. You will feel valuable. I tried, it works. Today, when they say, what are you doing in this IT company? I say, cut and paste. But seriously, whatever you do, do it for the leaning IT tower. No, do it for you.
All right. Thank you. Before I move forward, I would like to ask Grammarian Toastmasters Nitin, do we have a term called gold tongue? Because I felt Toastmasters Pankaja was beyond silver tongue, isn't it? Well, that's not my job. It is Evaluator Toastmasters Mayur. So I would keep in line with my role and I would move on to the second segment of this meeting, the table topics. And to take us through that, I invite Toastmasters Akash. Over to you, Toastmasters Akash.
Hello.
Hi, Akash. Your voice is slightly descending. Maybe you have to speak.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Hello. Sorry. Is it clear now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So we had a great prepared speeches section altogether, and now it is time for the most exciting part of the Toastmasters meeting, that is table topic segment. Table topic segment is specially designed to improve your impromptu speaking skills. So it will help you in improving your listening, thinking, organizing, and delivering of your impromptu speeches. Basically, you will be given a topic which is not known prior to you, and you will have to speak on that topic for up to 2 minutes. We'll give any participant, including guests, are allowed to participate in this segment, and our timer will help you to maintain the timeline. That is minimum requirement time for prepared table topic speeches 1 minute. 30 seconds will be given a yellow signal, and at 2 minutes you'll be given a red signal. You have 30 seconds to wrap up after you see the red signal. So are you all excited? Let's begin with the first table topic. Is there any volunteer who would like to
Manish.
participate? Can you show your hands? Good evening, Manish. Thanks for volunteering for the table talk. Let me give you the topic for you. I'll paste also in the chat. Name 3 things you are really good at. Name 3 things you are really good at. Over to you, Toastmaster. Sorry. I have pasted in the chat as well. Let me know if it is, you got the topic.
Good evening, everybody. I'll name 3 things which I'm good at. One is I can say by the grace of God, I do not miss my workout. Whether it rains, it snowfalls, anything is there, I don't miss. If it's raining outside, I'll prefer to do exercise inside my home. Earlier, I used to go to the gym. Now, because of COVID, I stopped. I do strength training. Either I find some park, or if there's some problem, I do at home. Second is, whatever I do with consistency. If I decide to do something, and if I write that thing or type that thing that I am going to do, I don't miss. I can say, I didn't know earlier, before attending any Toastmaster meeting or before listening to any person who motivate me, and that was by default. At that time, I didn't know the meaning of consistency, dedication, persistence. These words I didn't hear. After that, I have watching videos. I came to know that this is a quality God has given me. Third, when I do my business, when I decide that I have to do it, wherever I am, I plan my business in such a way that my presence in my office is not that important. I can handle my business from anywhere. That is the quality I'm good at. I see my competitor, they sit at their business and handle it. But I keep on traveling, enjoying my life, and handle my business wherever I am. I kill two birds with one stone. I handle my business and enjoy my life too. Over to the Toastmaster, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster Monish. That was a great table topic speech from you. Thank you. And let's see if there is any more volunteers for the next topic. Is there any volunteers? Or shall I call the name? So I see Rohan Tottayan. Are you interested in taking a table topic? Or
Okay, may I try?
Nasir? Okay, this is Sharon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Sure. The table topic for you is, what would it be? If you could do any activity you wanted, what would it be? Paste in the chat as well.
Thank you. What would it be if I could do any activity I wanted? All right, what would it be if I can do any activity I wanted? Of course, travel the world. Right now, I'm so bored getting stuck here at home. And in Malaysia, yes, we have lifted a little bit, but we have not been allowed to travel the world yet. So it has been a good 2 years. I've not moved out of Malaysia. The one thing that I would love to is to visit the neighboring countries, and one day I will probably visit India as well, because there's so much to offer in the world before the COVID takes over. And I would like to experience different culture, different, different food. Just now I was listening to one of your speakers mention about the food, about the vade. That is something I like very much. It could be the local version, it could be the authentic version from its origin. So yes, Traveling the world is one of my dreams. I've been to neighboring country since many years ago, and the one place that I would like to visit would be, if you have watched the show Squid Game, Korea. Yes, Korea would be the country that I would love to visit. That's the first one because it's quite near from here. And India probably will be on my list very much later on. And to be able to attend the World Public Speaking Stage, the conference, is a dream of mine. And last year they were saying that it's going to be held in Paris. I said, oh, we miss it. We don't get to go to Paris. I would one day certainly wish to visit the World Championship conference for Toastmasters one day. And I do not know when it will be lifted. And I certainly hope so soon. But anyhow, looking at the frontliners who have been working their heart out, I believe for them, their only wish they ever had is to have a good night's sleep and for everyone to recover, for the world to heal. And for me, I certainly wish that the world will heal as fast as possible so that we can do what we need to do. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharon. Even I would like to travel the whole world, but yeah, I have never been outside India a single time. That's the truth. But yeah, I probably see how going forward, and wish you all the best as well. And now I think there is a volunteer speaker too. Archana would like to take the topic.
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, so I copy. Okay. What activity or sport are you afraid to try? What activity or sport are you afraid to try? Over to you, Archana.
Thank you, Akash. Thanks for this great topic. There is no activity or sport that I don't try if I get an opportunity, because I love always keeping myself busy, whether it is indoor games or outdoor games, or if it is studying. Coming to sports, in my school days, there is no game that I didn't touch except the things like cricket and all, which are mostly men play. So, and see, I love even cricket. If I get an opportunity, I will definitely learn. I'll try learning. I'm a lifelong learner. I love learning, whether it's a sport or it's a subject, because I'm the kind of person who believes that exploring and learning makes people better both internally and externally. So in school days, I went till state level gymnastics competitions, and I'm district karate winner. I tried skating. Area level, I was first in skates. So, like outdoor games, I used to play badminton. These are all sports outside. Even inside, I used to play caroms and all. And see, even cricket, if I get an opportunity, somebody will teach me how to play, I will definitely try, because I am not the kind of person who fears the opinions of people, as just the way I gave speech now. See, anybody can think anything. Growth happens slowly. Like there is a quote, my favorite quotation, it is, life is like a boxing match. Defeat is declared not when you fall down. Defeat in life is declared when you refuse to stand up. See, we learn things only by falling down, by making mistakes. So the one who is not afraid of making mistakes and who loves learning is always open to explore and learn, grow. So any sport, I'm ready to learn. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Archana. That was a lovely quote. We learn by making mistakes, and that's something I have used in one of my prepared speeches. And okay, and one thing that I'm afraid is of heights. So if you say ask me what I'm afraid of, I'll be afraid of doing skydiving or scuba. What do you say, bungee jumping. All those kind of things really scares out of me. Yeah. Okay, then let's move on to the next table topic speech. Is there any volunteers?
Akash, you can give it to Suraj.
Wow, I need to practice this a lot, giving table topic speeches.
Okay, so would you like to take one topic?
Yes, I would like to try.
Yeah, sure. This is your turn then.
I can't hear, sorry.
Okay. Okay, your topic, one thing about your abilities, what would it be? One. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is it audible?
Yeah, audible
Hello,
now.
Suraj?
Yeah, you're audible.
Hello.
You're audible, I can hear you.
Hello.
Akash, we can hear you. Can you type it in the chat box as well?
Sorry, I dropped out, I guess. Yeah, sure. So your topic is, if you could change one thing about your abilities, what would it be? If you could change one thing about your abilities, what it would be? How do you put it?
So we all heard this story about the tortoise and the rabbit. Okay, so what happens is the tortoise wins the race, and you know why? The rabbit thinks that he's too fast, he's too smart, he can do it, but he he is not consistent. He goes and he rests, and he thinks that somehow he will be able to win the race, but that doesn't happen. Friends, this is the same thing that I would like to change in myself. That is being consistent. Whenever I've seen my life, one thing is that I have seen circumstances where I start something, with a lot of energy, with a great vision, and some of the best ideas, but slowly that enthusiasm, that energy slowly fades down as time elapses. So this is something which I would really like to work upon, and which I have recognized. I'm happy I recognize that. And I'm sure over a period of time, I will work on it and correct this issue which is with me. That is something which I would like to correct about my ability, and that is being persistent. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Suraj, for the wonderful attempt. So,
thank you.
Okay, yeah. So for the today's session, let's go for the last table topic for today due to time constraint. So Nasir has raised his hand. Nasir, would you like to take up the topic? Nasir, you are there? You're on mute. Actually.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes,
Can you
I'm available.
unmute yourself?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah. let me give you the topic. Why do you think God made us all so different? Why do you think God made us all so different? I'll put in the chat also.
Sure.
Yes, there you go. Over to you, Nasir.
Thank you, Akash. I think this is a wonderful topic you have given to me, and you will not believe current my state of mind. I was thinking the same thing as I was working with my team. Many people. So this is a new role I am playing now. So I'm managing team, and I see many people think differently, act differently. Same scenario. Okay, they have their different agenda, but the beauty of playing the role what I'm doing now is I learn a lot from all of them. They have different perspective, different energy, and different reason arguments. So yes, I think God has made us all are different, but there should be some reason here. So what might be the reason? See, for example, if I go with my friend, we would go and have um, idli vada, right? I mean, you guys are aware. I mean, South Indian dish is very famous actually, idli vada. So I see one friend, he's having a dip. Okay, the dip is what? And he actually dips sambar inside the idli vada and eat it. And some people, they don't like it at all. All of us are eating same thing, but the way they eat, the style, their taste is different. But what I feel is all these differences make us a complete it creates a complete ecosystem. If we and I believe because of this difference, I see that one of the most important job today in the world, you see that human resource management, it is one of the most complex thing, and I don't think it can be overtaken by any of these auto ML or AI ML. No, it's not that, right? It is very complicated job. And yeah, coming to the agenda, the thing is we all are different, but there is one opportunity we see. What is that? The opportunity is so we learn and we grow. Thank you, Toastmasters, for this wonderful topic.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nasir. You had laid out wonderful examples of how people are different, and that was really insightful. So with this, we are winding up the table topic session. I'll like to encourage you to join upcoming meetings to have a chance to attempt next. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Bidhu Das.
Thank you, Table Topic Masters, Akash, for the wonderful list of topics and the speakers who were equally confident and wonderful in delivering the table topics. I enjoyed how diverse the topics were, from sports to introspecting things like what one is good at and the ability to improve, to the more philosophical ones about God. Now, I would like to invite back our General Evaluator to tell us how we did today and to slightly tell the things that we can improve upon. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Bidhu. I'm back again as the General Evaluator for today. And it was quite a session, if I'm not wrong. But before I go on to present my report, I'd like to call upon my team of, they're referred to as the tag team. So I'd like to call upon our first member in the tag team, who will be our, give me 1 minute. Okay, our timer.
Akash,
I'd like to call upon
others first do the speech evaluation.
Oh, yes,
Then.
absolutely. My apologies. I'd like to call upon our evaluators for today. So I'd like to call upon the evaluator one. And yes, evaluator one is, would anyone mind raising their hand to suggest that they are the evaluator one?
Toastmaster
Yes, Naveen, evaluator one, Naveen, please proceed to evaluate your speech. Naveen, are you there? All right. Okay. Naveen is here. Yes.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. All right. Thank you, Vinit, for giving me this opportunity to evaluate you. It is an honor. You started off with you hit the ground running. That was really something that, we all can learn. You engage the audience with your questions. How inadequate do you feel? Sometimes things are not enough. You talk about this contract lawyer who went to go and, order some food, and, the waiter taking his order should have been privy to this guy's question. How much is it for Vadai that could find me? That was already a suspicious clue, no? You can't trust contract lawyers, or you can. No contract lawyers here. Anyway, you brought us into the focus of the story slowly, surely, but slowly, telling us about the first Vadai he ordered. How much is the Vadai? 5 rupees. Wow, that's affordable. Second Vadai, the third Vadai, until it comes to the 7th Vadai, and then the fella was like satiated. He's like, wow. I thought it was, initially we thought that this would go on and on and on. So it's like a hedonistic treadmill where he would never be satisfied until he eat himself to death. But then you hit us with a different angle of the story, whereby he refused to pay for the full price for the Vadai because he engaged the waiter who told him it costs 5 rupees to have the Vadai that can satisfy him. So it's a 7 Vadai that he actually would satisfy him. So he paid 5 rupees for that. And this was actually a clever case in point. And it really hit home because, you can't have today without tomorrow, without yesterday or the day before yesterday. And you've actually threw the question back to us with regards to how this also relates to the Toastmaster journey. And I have to say that, your closing was very impressive. Instead of Vadai, maybe you can try other things to actually relate to this story, because this can be shared to an international audience. Perhaps you can use days like, without yesterday, but then the story still won't have that oomph in it, that actually delivers its payload. But all in all, I'm really happy to actually learn from this story. And thank you for giving me this opportunity again to evaluate you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Naveen.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Naveen, for that excellent evaluation. And I couldn't agree more because I thought it was a very relatable subject. I thought you brought on a bit of information that all of us can relate to. And you talked to us about how disappointed all of us feel when we cannot sell something. But as Toastmaster Naveen pointed out, it might be a bit nice if you could bring about an object or a food item that all of us can relate to. But with that said, it was absolutely brilliant. And I'm pretty confident that you can get that one thing right. With that said, I would like to move on to our second evaluator for today. Our second evaluator will be evaluating Toastmaster Archana's speech. So our second evaluator is Toastmaster Sharon. Toastmaster Sharon.
Thank you very much. To the speaker, Archana, wow. I thoroughly enjoy your speech so much. Why I say that? Because you are such a great storyteller. That's your strength, Archana. That's your strength. A great storyteller with rich vocabs and easy to follow, easy to follow language. I'm totally connected with your speech from beginning till end. Why? I also get my fair share of listening to crazy critics out there. How I wish every time I say, how I wish that I could enroll all of them to Toastmasters so they can give critics constructively and gently to motivate us. That's right, to motivate us. Yeah, fantastic storyteller. And I love how you transit from one story to another smoothly. The second point I want to say is conviction. I can only see you here. Your exaggeration of expression is fantastic. I can follow you, the way how you get so frustrated, how you get so exasperated by those critics, especially when you talk about story about your dad, and finally the ones who tell you to speak slower instead of softly. And finally, the last part, I can see a lot of chuckles from the room. The final ending part where say about the restaurant menu. I love that very much. And the third one, is it humorous? Of course it is humorous. It is humorous indeed. And how I wish that I can impart some to add value to you as a speaker is, these are my humble opinion, which will make you not only just humorous, but really, really good at it. Is I wish I can see you stand up and deliver a speech. Because when you were delivering a speech, I can only see you till here and your left hand is only moving. So if you were to stand up, I could probably see you until your chest or your stomach, and your hands, I'm sure, will be moving much better, because when you stand up, the energy flows. When the energy flows, you definitely, your hand gesture will sing in time with your speech. So that is one thing. And the second one, midway through your speech, I hate to say, to speak slower. There are a few times where your speech will run at bullet pace. I couldn't catch up whether you were telling the same story. Oh, you have already moved on to the next story. It would be good, remember the power of the pause, to pause, to let me sink in before you move on to the newer story, and to change the tempo, because the speed of your speech is about the same speech, same speed level. It would be good to slow down a little bit, give the punchline, especially when you give the dialogue part where you get so exasperated, especially the father part. The father will say this, my daughter only come up when there's nobody around. That's her, that's her. So exaggerate the dialogue. It will be great if you exaggerate the dialogue, because I know you have it in you. So Archana, in summary, I will say that keep up your storytelling technique. Speak your conviction, your facial expression is top notch, and you are humorous. You have the art of bringing humor to the floor. And to add more spice is to stand up the next time you deliver a speech and to slow down and add more punch in the vocal variety. And that's all. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sharon. I'm pretty confident that Toastmaster Sharon just exposed you to a world of new possibilities, if I'm not wrong, because you just combined defiant with humor and you took it to another level altogether. There were a whole bunch of scenes that I liked a lot. It was almost like me being trapped in a movie with plenty of scenes in it, and there were some excellent transitions along the way. So the one thing, now, personally, I agree with pretty much everything that Sharon said. You might probably have to work on the pacing of your speech, but it doesn't change the fact that you did extremely well today. And it might be nice if you just step up a bit and show all those gestures, because again, you need to know that there are two things that makes humor. The first thing is you, and the second thing is your hands. And your hands play a big role. Your body language plays a huge role in the way you make people laugh. And I'm pretty confident that you have that in you. The only thing is we were not able to see it because your screen was not able to accommodate your entire body. So you might probably have to step up and show yourself for the entire show yourself to the entire world, because all of us want to know more of you. With that said, wonderful speech, and I wish to see you back very soon. I'd like to move on to our next evaluator for today. Our next evaluator is Toastmaster Mayur, and he'll be evaluating Toastmaster Pankaja's speech. Toastmaster Mayur?
Thank you, Toastmaster Akash. Good evening once again. Now, as you have seen the speaker leaning in and backward and started with her speech with a very wonderful energy. Congratulations, Toastmaster Pankaja, for delivering a very good speech. You added not just humor in it, you added lot of things in this speech. I can see silver tongue in your speech. You took a pauses at times. You excelled at your energy. You brought us into your speech. You gave it very well. You, even though you have added vocal variety and audience awareness, you have asked various questions from audience as well. You were engaging very well with your audience, and I found it very interesting that not many people do engagement with the audience in their speeches. That is your plus point. And to one more add-on in your speeches that you have added some acronym like PSD, permanent hair damage, and in which is urban planning actually. And I found it that you have also used mountain view to my view to mountain view, right? So that was some the big things I have enjoyed in your speech very well. If you want to, I recommend you to work upon or to challenge yourself. I would say if you sometimes you go very fast, so it get difficult to follow up you with on some tricky situation at times. So it would be better to take some pauses and slow down wherever required. So that way you have this is the thing I want to give, and you have given a wonderful speech, and all the best for your future speeches as well. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mayur. Now, there are certain points I would like to add. Now, firstly, I'm not sure if I entirely agree with what Mayur said, but then again, that's what makes all of us different. And that is something that we learned from Nasir today, if I'm not wrong. I thought that your speech was absolutely brilliant. I thought there was so much humor, energy, and the pace of the speech was just brilliant. I just thought that you had a whole bunch of stories in your mind and you were able to put that out in the best way possible. You were able to show a whole bunch of gestures. You just did everything. I mean, you were literally the dream of every Toastmaster, if I'm not wrong. And that is something I clearly enjoyed today. Now, I'm not sure if I actually have anything bad to say about your speech, to be honest, because you seem like a very seasoned Toastmaster and you seem to know your way around things. And that's something that I clearly liked a lot. And there were a lot of people out there today that had a whole bunch of tongues, but I think you had a golden tongue, as Toastmaster Bidhu pointed out. So with that in mind, now I'm not trying to flatter you, but rather I'm just trying to point out that you did an incredible job and there's still a lot of room for improvement. With that in mind, I would like to move on to our next set of evaluations. So for our next set of evaluations, I would like to call upon our timer for today. Our timer, Toastmaster Elango. Toastmaster Elango, would you like to present your report as the timer for today?
Thank you, G. I would like to present upon the timer report for today's session. Today we had 3 prepared speeches. Toastmaster Vinith, Toastmaster Chirag, Toastmaster Pankaj. They all took 6.25, 7 minutes, 6.53 seconds, and all within time, and they were qualified for voting. And table topics, we had 5 speakers. Their speech report is 1, all qualified for voting. And the evaluators also had Toastmaster Naveen, Toastmaster Sharon, and Toastmaster Mayu. And this is the time they have taken for the evaluation. Over to you, G. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that report, Toastmaster Elango. It's good to see that no one got disqualified today. As for our next role taker, we have ourselves Toastmaster Joseph, who will be presenting his report.
Adarsh, could you ask Elango if he has table topic speaker timing as well?
Yes, Toastmaster Elango, would you mind presenting the report for the table topic speakers?
Sure.
All right. It seems no one got disqualified, I presume.
Okay.
All right. We can move to the next role taker for today, who is Toastmaster Joseph. Toastmaster Joseph, would you mind presenting a report as the accounter?
Thank you, Adarsh. Good evening once again to all the Toastmasters and guests. The following are the score. Mayur, 6 ha, 3 hum, 4 so, not was repeated twice. Bidhu 1 hum, Sadasivan 3 ha, 1 because, Adarsh 3 ha, 4 ha, 1 hand. Nitin 3 ha's. Naveen 6 ha, 9 you know, 2 hum, 2 actually. Archana 3 ha, 4 so, 1 hum. Akash, unable to count is harsh. It is so innumerable. I don't want to exhibit his art. It was terrible, actually. He should come back and review his horse. Sharon, 4 ha, 3 so, and 2 and. Archana, 3 ha, 4 so, and 1 hum. Nasir, 20 ha, 4 so, 3 and 2 hum, 1 but. That's all for today. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Joseph. It seems like none of us escaped the wrath of the R counter today. I'd like to move on to our next role takeover today, who is none other than our Toastmaster Nitin, who will be playing the role of grammarian. Toastmaster Nitin, would you mind presenting your report?
Thank you, Adarsh. Today we got a very nice prepared speeches, and the grammar used were very nice in all along the meeting. Our Toastmaster Archana, as you asked Toastmaster Bidhu, used the gold tongue. The irony of this is that I also doesn't know the meaning, so I googled it. The first thing I got is that a gold tongue found in the mummy's mouth in Egypt. But later on, I put the meaning, and the meaning of gold tongue is gifted with superior powers of utterance or persuasion, which is the difference between silver tongue and gold tongue is silver tongue should be habited, the gold tongue will be gifted from birth. And our Toastmaster Pankaja Kulapkar, man, you completely did not let us miss our Millen sir. And there were very many grammar points, and one that attracted me the most was the unbreakable glass. And the word of the day, the silver tongue, was used by our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Bidhu, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Adarsh, Speaker 1, Toastmaster Vinith, Speaker 2, Toastmaster Archana, and Evaluator 3, Toastmaster Mayur. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Adarsh.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Nitin, for keeping track of all of our tongues. I'm sure all of us are going to go home with a silver tongue today. For our final role taker, we have ourselves Toastmaster Mayur, who will be playing the role of a listener. Mayur, would you mind presenting your report as a listener?
Yeah, thank you, Adarsh, for inviting me once again. So I hope you guys have listened very well, and I am throwing you some questions to test your listening skills. Hope you guys are ready. Say yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let me start with the Vinith speech. Vinith told about masala vada, which is equivalent to
7.
no, not. I am asking about he made a equivalent to which dish?
Cutlet.
Okay, that's great. And he also told that 90% of our speech, okay, leave it. And so how many if we count Saptavada Gyanam, or how many he paid to the cashier?
5.
5 or 35?
5.
Okay, thank you. And in Archana's speech, fourth guide said like how she looked like.
Please repeat.
I think an
In
elephant.
Archana?
Rat.
No.
Elephant.
No.
Oh, Jerry.
No.
Tom.
No. Okay. Any other person
short.
want to guess? Any other person want to guess?
Sure.
Okay. I'll tell you. It's Nityanand Baba. And what does the homonym add argument mean? Anyone have any idea?
Please repeat.
Homonym add argument mean. What is the meaning of it? That is the reason we need to be little more attentive in the listening. So I will tell you, if you hear properly, when you can't end the argument, you have to attack the person. That is the meaning of it. Am I correct, Archana?
Yeah, correct.
Yes. If you cannot win by point or giving logical point, attack the arguer. Personal attack.
Okay. And okay, what is the speech title of Pankaja?
Strategy or what is it? Just trying to understand.
Yes, Suraj.
So, if someone is arguing, you can't win the argument, then you attack the arguer. Is that a strategy?
Yes.
It's a strategy.
That is
argumenting strategy, like unethical strategy to win.
okay. My last question is, what is the title of Pankaja's speech?
Leaning Tower.
Leaning what? Leaning IT Tower.
Leaning IT Tower.
Okay. Thank you so much for listening well. This is my report. Over to you, G.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mayur. It's always this part of the session that I never pay attention to because I'm not extremely good at listening. Now I'm going to keep my report short and simple as a general evaluator today because we don't have much time left. So I'm going to start off by praising our essay. I'm pretty confident that he had a lot of energy at the start of the session. He started off at the right time, despite the disruptions we had at the start. He went all the way to the end and he looked very composed throughout. So thank you very much, Toastmaster Joseph. And as for our TMoD for the day, Toastmaster Bidhu, who did an incredible job. Now, I'll be very honest with you, that topic is so relatable. It's something that all of us can relate to so well. And when I read the theme on the WhatsApp group a few days ago, I thought to myself, do I really want to listen to someone talk about, are you actually bored every day of your life? And that bored me, to be honest with you. But now that I'm here and now that I've listened to you, I feel that this was absolutely brilliant. I clearly enjoyed it. I thought you were very engaging throughout. And I love the part where you had something to say about every speech and table topic or anything that you happen to come across throughout the session. And that is something that I would like you to remember and implement as you go forward. Our presiding officer had a wealth of information today. He went on and he spoke about various things before introducing our Toastmaster of the day. And I like that a lot. I would like both of you to keep that up and proceed as you become better Toastmasters and leaders. We had a whole bunch of table topics today and each of them had some value to it. And that's something I clearly like a lot because all of us are here for lessons, although we all want to become good public speakers and leaders. But again, to become a good public speaker and leader, you're supposed to learn from each other. You're supposed to learn from various valuable lessons that all of us have in our minds. Starting off, we had Munish, who had some excellent things to talk about when it comes to the things that he's good at. And that's something that he must continuously work on as time goes on. And we had Toastmaster Sharon, who spoke about her passion for traveling. And I like the way she described everything. And she also had a very positive message towards the end of her table topic, where she wanted the entire world to heal as quickly as possible from the atrocity of this pandemic. And we had Toastmaster Archana, who showed defiance, humor, and literally everything. All of it was put together in one good table topic for all of us to listen to. So thank you very much, Toastmaster Archana, for dropping by. And Toastmaster Suraj. Now, Toastmaster Suraj has not been a Toastmaster for a long time. He's only been around for the last 1 month, and he's had a few issues here and there. He's not been able to attend very often. But I'm pretty confident that he wants to be very consistent, and he showed that in his table topic today. He showed his drive. He showed how much he wanted to be here, as well as in the other things that he wants to see himself do in his life. So overall, great job to all the table topic speakers. And as for our table topics master, that was a wonderfully conducted session, although there were a few disruptions. Now, I'm not going to blame you for it because there's a good chance you're in the middle of nowhere and you really didn't know how to approach this. But again, I think Toastmaster Vineet pointed out that it's important for us to prepare ourselves for every situation. So it's important that you prepare yourself for the situation because you clearly knew that you're going to take up the role of a table topic master today. With that said, great job. There were a whole bunch of topics that all of us enjoyed. We'd love to see more of that going forward, probably when you're back. I think I'm pretty much done with my GE report for today. So I'd like to thank everybody for dropping by. And on that note, I'd like to hand it back to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Bidhu.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for this insights. And it is time for me to sign off too. But before I sign off, I would like to go back to the theme. I would like to say that science states that being idle and bored are crucial necessity for the brain to its default mode and connect the discrete ideas. It is ideas are subjected to approvals. The purpose to very much validate these ideas. Recently, a very successful actor, Ryan Reynolds, announced to regain his creative best. Ryan Reynolds is not only one of the commercially successful actors, but he is also an owner of a football club. He runs multiple companies, including Aviation Gym and Mint Mobile. So mind you, in future, if you feel bored, just allow your creative juices to take over. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you so much, Bidhu, for making us give us the knowledge of how not to feel bored at times. It was a very well constructed theme. You did a fabulous job. Thank you so much for choosing that topic, which usually people don't want to talk about much. Thank you so much. Now I would like to share our voting link for today's meeting. So kindly vote for your best speaker, evaluator, role takers, as well as table topic speaker. I will share the link in the chat box. Please help yourself and cast vote for your favorite speakers. Link is shared in the chat box. Meanwhile, I will take some feedback and experience of our guest.
You put your vote for my vote
yes,
also.
Joseph sir. Okay.
You put my vote for all.
Okay, thank you, Joseph sir. Meanwhile, other can cast their vote, and I would like to take feedback of our guest. Hi, team. I'm Liu. Thank you for joining us. Could you share your joining and tell us about yourself as well? Tim, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I was muted. I muted myself. I felt very welcome into the club. You know, there is some communications from behind. I apologize for being late, dropping in halfway through the meeting, but the atmosphere is cordial. I would be interested to come back for another round. The problem I had connecting with you at the moment is the telephone line. I think the data line at my side is unreliable. So you might hear some of my voice, maybe not. I'm not sure, but I hope this will be rectified at the time I try to visit you all next time. Thank you for allowing me to come in. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Tim, for your words. I hope you will join us next Friday with good connectivity. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share their experience or feedback? Meanwhile, I'm getting the votes. Elango, thank you for so much for taking the timer role at the last minute. You want to say anything?
It's always a pleasure to join Speech Weavers Club. And, it was very interesting. The speakers were very good. I really thoroughly enjoyed the session today. Thank you. Thank
you so much. And I'm still getting the votes, so please cast your votes. I'm getting half of the vote only. Those who haven't not voted yet, And to the Suraj and the new Toastmaster who have joined our club or other club as well, I want to tell you one thing. The practice make you perfect. So if you join your club meeting or our club meeting wherever you want, so join your club meeting regularly, and this will improve your communication skill day by day. It doesn't happen within joining of your 1 month or 2 months. It takes 1 to 2 years to be a good in your communication and public speaking skills. So keep in mind that and enjoy the Toastmaster journey. Okay, I'm still getting, I got 7 responses only. I need at least 4 or 5 response more. Please cast your votes soon if you haven't. And anyone want to go, anyone want to say anything, can go ahead. Or shall I announce the result? Okay, let me announce the result then. Okay. So the best supporting role goes to myself as a Zoom master, and the best auxiliary role player goes to me only as a listener. Thank you for casting your votes for me. And the best table topic speaker, it was divided very well, but Toastmaster Sharon won this best table topic speaker. And any guesses about the best prepared speaker, evaluator, and role taker? You can guess if you want, or shall I announce?
Toastmasters Pankaja.
Okay.
Pankaja, yeah. And Sharon.
Okay. Okay. And what about best role taker? That I haven't announced yet. Okay, let me announce it then. Best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Sharon. You did a fabulous job in evaluating the speaker. And the best, which one you want, role taker or speaker first? Okay, let me announce it. Without further ado, best prepared speaker was Toastmaster Pankaja. Kudos to you for giving.
I would like to share this with Arjuna. She was awesome. So I would like to share the award with her.
Okay, thank you, Arjuna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pankaja. And the best role taker goes to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Bidhu. Thank you for creating a wonderful theme for the day. With that, I would like to close our meeting 6:39 and see you next Friday, and happy weekend to all. With that, I'm signing off.
Thank you,
Adarsh,
Mayor.
you can stop recording as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Joseph sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye
and have a nice weekend.
Bye.